Hi friends, welcome in. Tammy here with Bentley Lane Creations coming to you with today's sweet little DIY craft. This is the St. Patty's basket interchangeable. This goes in the little basket, so you would have to purchase that separately if you don't already own that. Now, there are lots of different interchangeables for that basket, and they are so cute. This is the St. Patrick's Day one, and I'm going to start out by painting this hat in the color Shamrock. That is a Crafter's Collection color paint. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the Lucky You tag and the Shamrock there in the same color, the color Shamrock by Crafter's Collection. And then I'm going to go ahead and come in with the bright green, and you see me doing there, and that's just kind of giving that a little bit of the tag and the clover itself a little bit of dimension. So I kind of just go back and forth, shading in some of the lighter, then going back over it with the darker, the Shamrock color. So I go back and forth between bright green and Shamrock until I get the effect that I want. And then I think it turned out really, really cute. So I did that with, like I said, with this Shamrock clover and the Lucky You little tag there. And now I'm doing the horseshoe in the color Golden Straw. That is a Deco Art brand paint, and that is a lighter color gold. I'd say a brighter gold. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my Waverly Antiquing Wax and a baby wipe, and I'm going to do the sign itself and the sign post with that. And you can keep going over it with the Waverly Antiquing Wax until you get the color that you want. It'll get darker every time you go back over it. And then the coins and the little belt buckle, it looks like, that goes on his hat, I'm doing those in the color Antique Gold. Now, that is a darker gold. So the Golden Straw color that I used on the horseshoe is more of a bright gold, a lighter, brighter, and this one is a darker gold. So, just an FYI, and it's called Antique Gold, and it's the one that I use mostly for my anything St. Patty's Day. Now I'm doing rainbows end of and the, all the words that go on the sign in white, just your regular white. And then I'm doing the little band that goes on the hat that the buckle attaches to in black. And then I'm going to go ahead and use some Distress Oxide. That is an ink that you get at any craft store. And I'm kind of just going around the sign. You can see where it just gives it that little dimension. The hat, some of the coins, the little buckle there. And then I'm just kind of dry fitting everything up and then deciding where I'm going to do some embellishing, if any at all. Now, I just took a little thin brush and some white, and I'm just, like I said, just kind of going around it as I see fit. Now, here you see me using the white sponge that I used for those words, and just kind of shading in over that gold on the horseshoe. Again, just giving it some dimension, and then coming in with the thin brush and making some bolder lines here and there. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the hat band, and then on the buckle. And then we're going to go ahead and do some of the coins. And again, just kind of looking. That's why you'll see me move it, then sit for a minute. You know, that's why there's a little bit of a pause in between, because I don't know exactly where I'm going to put stuff. I just am kind of eyeballing it as I go. And that's just kind of how I do my pieces and how I style all of my pieces. But again, it's just paint. So if you get something on there and you don't really like the way it looks, just paint right back over it with the other color and then just redo it until you get it right. And then here you see me adding some little fine little specks here and there. Sometimes I'll flick the paint on to do that, but here I didn't want to do like a full coverage, so I was just doing a little bit here and there. And then some on the tag as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and dry these up because I want to get these glued up right away. So if I wasn't going to be gluing them right away, I would just let them sit and dry on their own. But when I'm in a hurry or when I want to get something glued up right away, I go ahead and use my heat tool. You can use a blow dryer as well. If you don't have a heating tool like I do, a blow dryer works just as well. And then you saw me go back in there with my Waverly Antiquing Wax, and I did the piece that isn't really even going to show. It sits down in the basket. It's what holds this piece in the basket. But I just decided to go ahead and give it some, a little wipe of the Waverly Antiquing Wax, just so it didn't look like raw wood. It just made it look a little better, I think. Even though it's not going to show once it's put in there, I just am really funny about all my pieces. Now, I do go back and paint and complete the back of this as well. The entire back will get done in the Waverly Antiquing Wax. You won't see me do that here in the video, but just know that I do all my backs that way. But it's not necessary to do them. If it's not going to show, if you're sitting it against a wall or something like that, you wouldn't need to complete the back. I just like to have my backs finished. I just prefer that. And that way, if I set it somewhere on a table or something where you can see both sides, I don't ever have to worry about it. So I just always do my backs of all my pieces. Now, these two gold coins go behind. So that's why I didn't do my Waverly Antiquing Wax until I was done with all this glue up, because those are going to go in the back as well. And so once it's all put together, then you can go back and do that. And here I just used I have this little twine. It's really, really thin twine, and it's gold and white. And I thought that was perfect for this with the little gold in it, the gold flakes. And there it is done up. And there it is in the basket. I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks so much for watching.